Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to episode 109 of Driftless Knitting. This is a podcast all about knitting and yarn and whatever craft I get in my head to do, sometimes cross stitch, sometimes spinning. Lately it's really just been knitting and lots of yarn. I am coming to you on Thursday, July 22nd. It is 2:22 in the afternoon and it is a nice steamy 80 something degrees outside, humidity, all that good stuff. I feel like I'm not super prepared to film today. I had an idea that maybe I would have some time if I got my other work done this morning during my son's first nap, and now it is his afternoon nap. And I thought I would jump on here really fast and give you an update because it's been quite a while. I think it's been over a month since I filmed a podcast. And I have a couple exciting things and a pile of yarn here to show you. So I thought, why not take this opportunity? However, that also means I do not have any makeup on. I am in my favorite Brewers t-shirt. I'm not fancy, guys, but I thought maybe wouldn't mind and I would just say a quick hello. As some of you know, maybe most of you, who knows, we might have some new people, but I work from home 2 days a week, and I work in Madison, the west side of Madison, 3 days a week, while my mother-in-law stays with my almost 11-month-old son. I can't believe how big he's getting. And I work for Knit Circus Yarns. That'll probably come up in a little while. Usually I mention my work because I'm oftentimes knitting with Knit Circus Yarns. So, but yep, I work and live outside Madison, and yeah, love it in this area. I feel like I had a point, maybe it was the unkempt, like why I'm home in the middle of the day on Thursday, and the no makeup, probably slightly tired eyes, toys, you can't see it, but toys everywhere. Yeah, we'll just focus on the pretty blanket behind me. This has not gotten much love in recent months, though I have like one little square sort of hanging out back there. I want to work on it so badly. I feel like I almost can't prioritize that because there's no like end date for this. This is just gonna be worked on throughout the years, and whenever I finish it, great. But it is so fun to knit with. So I don't have anything new to show you on that blanket, but I do have a lot of other new things. Some you haven't seen, and some, maybe one or two you have. So let's jump straight in. I am drinking a little bit of leftover coffee from this morning. This is in one of my knit mugs. It looks like knitting, I guess. This was given to me quite a few years ago by my aunt, who's also a knitter. And she gave me this for Christmas, so it's one of my favorites. So I'll just take a sip there, put that down, and jump straight into knitting content. So the first thing I want to show you is a couple of finished objects, and one of them is something you would have seen me working on. These are, oh, look at that. The stitches just show up so nice in that natural light coming from our big sliding door. This is a new sock pattern of mine. These are called the Ponderosa Pine Socks. I think I talked about them a little bit in the last episode, though I don't know if I showed you the stitch on there. So it's got this really cool, it almost looks a little quilted in a way. I love that. So I knit a version of these, when was that, like over a year ago, for my husband, and I loved this stitch. I loved how it kind of reminded me of pine needles, and we had done a trip to Colorado 2 years, it has been 2 years already in June, and then over the 4th, we were there over the 4th, and we went hiking and encountered a lot of ponderosa pines, and they're much different than the pine trees around here. They smell different. They almost have a sweet smell for those of you who haven't encountered them before, and those of you who maybe live out west and haven't experienced Midwestern pine trees. They don't have that same smell. Like the bark itself, the tree itself has a sweet smell to it. So my husband loved them, and he got such a kick out of them smelling almost like chocolate, like dessert. And so when I knit these for him, I thought ponderosa pine would be the perfect name for them. And this is not the pair I knit for him. His are in his sock drawer, but I took that idea and knew I wanted to make a pattern from it, a design from it, and this is what I got. I've been meaning to knit these up for a couple of years since I did his first pair, and I just got around to it. These have a short row, German short row heel, and the beautiful pattern stitch. I did a 2x2 cuff, and I do mine toe up. So I started with the Judy's Magic Cast On. You can kind of see there a little bit, and then I increased on both sides. I did mine with 56 stitches, but the pattern includes 56, 64, and 72. And if you are not a toe-up knitter, this stitch is easily transferable to a cuff down. It'll look pretty much the same because these, well, it'll look like flipped, but because this stitch, whoops, so these stitches across here get pulled up. So instead of pulling them up, you'd be like pulling them down that way, but it's really gonna give you pretty much the same look, and it doesn't affect the patterning at all. The numbers are the same and everything. So you can easily do them cuff down. So yeah, the Ponderosa Pine socks will be live on Ravelry and driftlessknitting.com on Saturday, this Saturday, July 24th. And I'm gonna do a coupon code. And I haven't decided what the coupon code is gonna be, but I should do that now so that if you're watching this on Saturday or Sunday or whenever, I might put the coupon code for all of next week. It'll be for 25% off the pattern. And I feel like we should just do Driftless. Coupon code Driftless. That's Driftless. I had to like spell that in my head. Yeah, and you can get 25% off that pattern all next week. So starting Saturday and then through the next week. And I'll post again about it. It'll be in the show notes. Oh, I forgot to say, did I even forget to say what my name is? See, I told you, I'm totally unprepared. My name is Jennifer. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Driftless Knitter. You can find my patterns on Ravelry as well as Payhip and driftlessknitting.com. I am in the process. I haven't had much time lately with having a young baby toddler. He's pretty much a toddler now. I haven't had a large amount of time to put all of my patterns onto driftlessknitting.com, but they are all on Payhip and they're all on Ravelry. This new one will not be put on Payhip. I'm trying to transfer off of that site onto my own. So all new patterns will only be put on driftlessknitting.com and ravelry.com. So yes, use the code Driftless on either site and get 25% off that pattern. I'm very excited about that, and I hope you guys enjoy knitting it. The second finished object I have is a little pair of baby bloomers. And these are for my cousin's baby who is supposed to be born at the end of July. I believe her due date is, oh wow, it is almost the end of July. Her due date is I think July 27th or July 29th. I can never remember, but really that's only like a few days away. I cannot believe it. So she's my younger cousin. We're 4 years apart and we grew up very, very close. So her and her younger sister, and then me and my older sister, we were like, the four of us were very, very close. So they now live down in Indiana, and I only see them a few times a year, Last year I didn't really see them at all, except for I had an outdoor baby shower last July, and I did get to see her then, but usually we only see each other a couple times a year. And I knit her the little elephant hat that I showed last episode, and then these little bloomers are going along with it to kind of complete the little outfit. So she wanted the elephant hat for pictures, for newborn pictures, so I better send this along quick because you never know, he could get here at any time. She is having a little boy. So these are knit out of Knit Circus yarns in our Divine DK base, which is 100% superwash merino, and this is the Silver Linings colorway. And I use the same 100 gram skein of yarn for both the hat and the bloomers. I think this pattern is called Tiny Pants, and I can't remember who designed it, but I will put that in the show notes. I did less ribbing for the legs than what the pattern calls for. I didn't want them to be too long. I think the pattern called for at least double this amount. They had a pretty big cuff on both legs, but I wanted them less like shorts and more like bloomers, just to kind of cover his butt. So yeah, these are super cute. They went super fast, really easy pattern to follow. I would knit these again for sure. And I didn't put any, I don't know if the pattern included instructions for like a waist tie or elastic or anything, but I didn't include any. He's not going to be moving around, and they're only going to have these on him for a little bit if they only use them for the pictures. Hopefully they want to or can use them for more than that, for just putting on him. But he is being born in July, and I don't know how much need they'll have for wool bloomers during the summer, but we'll see. Okay, so those are my 2 finished objects. I do have several works in progress, so we'll start with this one that hasn't gotten much love, unfortunately, in the last little bit. I can't remember if I had this cast on the last time. I don't think I did, but I'm not sure. So this is in one of my Resilient Knitter bags. I don't know if she's still, if Elizabeth is still sewing these, but what I love about these bags is she uses like reclaimed material. So like this one's got a cute little button on it, probably from a shirt, some sort of a shirt. I'm guessing that's what this flowered fabric was. I have a couple of these. She does a lot of like flannel, which I love, and yeah, some other cute fabrics. So I'm not sure if she is still sewing bags, but if she is, go check her out. They were on Etsy, I think. Yes, they were on Etsy. So this is a hat that I'm knitting also out of Divine DK from Knit Circus. And this is from a discontinued colorway called Into the Woods. I don't believe there's any more of this. I have a really cute progress keeper on here that I'll show you, but this is causing me some doubt, and I think that's why I haven't knit more of it. So this is a hat, a new pattern for me, or from me, I should say. I have my adorable cabin progress keeper on there that I think is perfect for this color. It just reminds me of like the North Woods, and it's called Into the Woods. But that was from Simply Serving, and it was part of the Homespun House Little House Clubs. I can't remember which month that was for. It may have been for By the Shores of Silver Lake, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because Long Winter was the last one, and Pa's Fiddle came in that one, which is adorable. Yeah, so this hat has a textured stitch on it that some of you may recognize from some of my other patterns. I'm just turning it so that it catches the light because it's easier to see the texture that way. This stitch is also on the Birds and Bud socks and on the Show Some Love shawl. You can tell I like knitting it. And I thought it would make a really, really cute textured hat. The only problem is that I'm thinking it's a little bit too big. And I think I'm remembering talking about this in the last episode and then being like, well, I'll just wait and I might put it on some waste yarn and put it on my head. And yeah, I think it's too big. I think it's too big. I was leaning back. It's hard to tell though when it's on the needle, so I don't know why I'm holding it up to my head like that. But I did like put all the stitches here and put the brim like around my head, and it seemed to fit. The brim seemed to fit fine. I don't know. So I'm just like, do I keep going and risk the fact that it could be oversized, way too oversized, and then have to rip it all out and knit it again? So I kind of set it down for a little bit, and I'm not sure what to do with it. It's just kind of, it stinks when you get so excited about something and then you're going to town on it and you realize that something's probably wrong, but you're not 100% sure. Yeah, it just takes all the steam out. All the steam out from my motivation. So I still haven't decided what to do. I'm still just probably gonna knit it, do the decreases, and then, you know, go from there. But it does seem a waste when I don't have too much knitting time these days to spend a lot of time on a project like that. Thankfully, it's DK weight, so it won't take too long. Maybe just a couple more nights of knitting. But lately, the reason why I set that down was, well, one, to finish the Ponderosa Pine socks and the little bloomers for my cousin, but I also, let's show this one first. This project is in another bag that I'm pretty sure, almost 100% sure, that this maker is not creating bags anymore, but this is in my cute box bag with the adorable farm fabric from Birdleg bags. I love these bags, and I'm kind of sad they're not doing them anymore. I like how they open down the middle and they just have so much room. So in this bag, I have something very, very exciting. I managed, I'm gonna just grab this. I managed to get one of the Woolberry road trip kits. So Bethany and Reese of Woolberry Fiber Company do this really fun game every year where they die up, they choose 10 destinations that would be on like a bucket list in the US and Canada. There is one Canadian spot this time. And they dye up colorways based on these destination photos. And then the players of the game get the 10 minis plus a map of the US with the different, with the 10 destinations labeled and tokens. And we have to guess and label which mini skein we think is inspired by the destination. We take a photo of it with our tokens, our numbered tokens on the different spots, and then we send in the photo, and if you guess them all correctly, you get added into a pool, a prize pool. So these are some of the minis. Like I said, I think there are 10. Yeah. So there's a couple. Oopsie. Some beautiful ones. So yeah, I managed to snag, oh boy, one of these. I also got myself a Woolberry Advent, which I'm so excited about. I can't remember I don't think I had bought that the last time I talked to you. So yeah, lots of beautiful colors. I think there might be one more. And I have, whoops, one just fell. I'll put that up later. I have cast on the project that I'm gonna do with it. And it didn't come with a project or a pattern. You can just do whatever mini mini skein project you want, and I chose to do the leftover city cowl. I'll put that in the show notes with the designer. And so far I have 2 colors done. So basically this is just a round cowl. You do 1 color and then you do a little bit of color work to alternate before moving on to the next one. And I've had this on my list to do for a really, really long time, and I'm really excited to be able to do it with the road trip colorways. I have a progress keeper on here. I don't want to twist it. That is a little chicory flower from Lock and Lou. I love chicory. That's the blue flowers that grow on the side of the road. And I thought, what better progress keeper to use for a road trip cowl than the flowers that you see while you're driving. Chicory flowers put me in such a great mood, and I just absolutely love them. Even though they're probably considered a weed, they're like my absolute favorite flower. And yeah, I usually put my chicory flower, I had it on the little bloomers while I was knitting them because I loved the look of the gray and the blue together. And also summertime, when the chicory is blooming, it's the perfect time to use that progress keeper. I usually either go with a theme or, you know, like with the, with the hat, I already put it away. It's very, you know, it's Into the Woods colorway. It's green. It reminds me of, you know, pine trees. And so having the cabin progress keeper on there just fits. I like having my progress keeper fit with the project. So yeah, I know I'm a little weird. I love a theme, So that's been really fun. I was knitting that, I started that last week, but last weekend I went away for the weekend with some friends, and we celebrated, one of my best friends is getting married in August, and she had like a bachelorette weekend in Galena, Illinois, which, oh my gosh, so beautiful. I've been there before, but not often, and that town is just so cool. There's so much to do. It's beautiful. It's so historic. It's so pretty. And I needed a mindless project to knit while I was there. And the road trip cowl, I just didn't want to have to be winding minis and worrying. I mean, it's really not that hard, the pattern itself, but keeping track of all the minis, winding them up. I just wanted something I could take and go and not worry about it. So I cast on something new. This is in a Darn Yarn MN bag. Perfect for summertime. I love the wool bottom. One of my favorites. And I cast on a pair of socks, or one sock at least, the first of a pair. And there we are. So again, I'm doing these toe up, Judy's Magic Cast On, 56 stitches. This time I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, a little bit different than a German short row. Still a short row heel though. It's my favorite one that fits me, so I just always do a short row heel. And I'm just doing like a broken up seed stitch. I might write this up because it is slightly different than the Hermione's Everyday, even though it looks a little similar. The numbers are different, and I've gotten asked a lot about this pattern. It's the same pattern that I used for my Christmas Eve cast on socks last year, and it's just like my go-to if I don't want to have to think, but I still want a little bit of texture. This is perfect. And I am using Knit Circus yarn. This is our Greatest of Ease colorway, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And it's part of a sock set. So this is the second little ball. And this one that I'm pretty far into, that's the first one. So I'm almost to the blue on the outside, which is gonna be so pretty. So this was part of a medium sock set. Each one has 150 gram, no, not 150 grams. That'd be a lot of yarn. It has 75 grams? No, what am I talking about? 75 grams total, I believe. It's smaller than your average skein of sock yarn. So I don't need a full 400 yards for my socks. My feet are small. And I think each ball has 150 yards. I think that's where that number is coming from. I should know this. I label yarn all the time, but oh well, it's easy to forget. So yeah, so I believe each one has 150 yards, and the total grams, can't remember, but it works out for me because yeah, I usually have a lot of leftover, and I love this blue on the edge. I don't want to, you know, cut that out and not knit with it because my socks are too big. My socks are too long. So those are really nice. Those sock sets are really nice to work with if you don't want to, yeah, have a bunch of extra yarn. That colorway was a mist-dye, so it was in our sales section. I bought it a few months ago, I think, from the sales section, and it's a one of a kind. But I believe that we were either trying to dye Imaginary Best Friend or Girls Run the World. I think that's what it was. Girls Run the World. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but that colorway has these like dark pinks and blues, but so does Imaginary Best Friend. So either one is beautiful, and I'm sure you would love to knit with it. So yep. So that's all my projects. That's all that I've been working on. I've been really loving the socks because, like I said, they're mindless. We've been watching basketball, go Milwaukee Bucks, NBA champions. So exciting. We watched that game Monday night, Tuesday night? Yeah, Tuesday night. So exciting. I still can't believe that they won and that Milwaukee basketball is the champions. Oh my gosh, so much fun. So that's been great for watching sports, and the Olympics are coming up, so I'll be watching those a little bit and probably doing some knitting. So it's really great to have a mindless project on the go. I also have some yarn to show you. Whoopsies, let's pick that up. I think the first thing would be some yarn that I got at the newly moved and kind of renovated yarn shop here in Sauk City. So I live in Sauk City, which is just a little bit north of Madison, northwest of Madison. And we had a yarn shop in the neighboring, like the sister town. They're so close together, they kind of like run together a little bit. And that's called Prairie du Sac. And the yarn shop there was called D. Marie's Knit and Fiber, something like that. Most people just called it D. Marie's. And Dana, the owner, she sold the yarn shop to, I think, a longtime employee, and they renamed it and moved it to downtown Sauk City into a new building, a bigger building. It's a beautiful old storefront, so it has like the tin ceiling. It's got big, tall ceilings and beautiful floors. It's really gorgeous. Still has a lot of the yarns that D. Marie had, and then they're bringing in other lines as well. So it's really great. And I went there on their grand opening day and kind of forgot that they were doing, well, I knew it was the grand opening, but I got there like right when they were doing the ribbon cutting and all this stuff. It really worked out well because I was coming back from Madison. I had Hudson, my son, with me, and the two of us went in and did a little bit of shopping. And I ended up getting 2 skeins of yarn. The first one is a Madeline Tosh 100% superwash merino Tosh sock. Oh, can't say those 2 words together. And it is called Dried But Not Forgotten, which makes me think that it's kind of based on dried flowers and leaves, potpourri. So pretty. I love this like mossy green, and then it's got the pops of blue and purple. And I actually was standing in front of the wall of Madeline Tosh yarn, And Hudson reached out, he was on my hip, he reached out and grabbed this skein. And of course, you know, trying to teach him to be gentle with yarn, gentle hands, don't pull, you know, that's the thing he wants to do. He wants to pull the strings and he wants to like eat it. So I'm just teaching like, okay, just pet the yarn. So I, you know, grabbed his hand and I was like, gentle, gentle. And I saw this, I took this out of his hand and I'm like, actually, that's a beautiful skein of yarn. I don't know if I would have pulled that off the shelf because it's not my go-to. As you'll see, the next one is more like blues and browns. Even though I love green, I'm a very earthy, I love earthy colors, and this definitely is in the earthy color category, but probably not my first choice. But after I saw it, and then it seemed kind of fun and special because he had pulled it and picked it out. So I did end up getting that one. And that is 395 yards. And it's a fingering weight, obviously. Yeah, got that one. And then I saw this beautiful skein of Spun Right Round. And this one has my like denim blues. And I love blue with this like mulberry purple color. I think those two combined are so pretty. And there's like this yellow ochre and a little bit of green. This section down here is so pretty. Those speckles are just so cool. Yeah, I love it. So this is a merino singles and it's 100% superwash merino single ply, 400 yards, and it's called Haze. And again, this is Spun Right Round. So I think these are gonna be, this one for sure is gonna be a cowl because it's a single ply and I just have one skein of it. Not sure what this is gonna be yet, but it might be something similar. I'm really wanting a lot of, fuzz in my mouth. I'm wanting a lot of cowls just like to accessorize with and be more decorative rather. I mean, they're gonna be warm, but I want things I can wear like inside at work while I'm sitting at my desk in the winter time. That'll go with a lot of the colors that I wear. So I think both of these would be perfect for that. They're kind of neutral, but they still have some really beautiful colors that I love. So yeah, I got these two skeins at, I forgot to tell you what the name of the yarn shop is. It's called Flaxen Fleece. So Flaxen, all one word. It sounds like flax and fleece, but it's Flaxen Fleece. It'll be in the show notes. And then I got an email a couple days later that I had won a door prize. So I went and got this beautiful skein of Madeline Tosh, Button Jar Blue is the colorway, and it's their, I guess it's, the base is called Impression. It's their merino, sorry, not merino, their mohair and silk base. So 70% mohair and 30% silk. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'll probably pull it with a fingering weight and make some sort of accessory or something, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Maybe I'll make a, what's the slouch hat that Tristan from Dragon Horde Yarn, what's that one called? Everyday slouchy hat, I think. And that uses mohair, and I don't usually have much mohair in my stash, so I've never, especially like a single skein, so I've never knit that. And I know I can knit it without the mohair, but still there's something about that fuzzy look to it. So it'd be fun to like get a darker fingering weight yarn and pair it with this super bright blue, and then you just get that like bright pop, the haze and the bright pop of blue running through it. Love that. So yes, that is both from Flaxen Fleece. Then a little while later, speaking of Tristan from Dragon Horde Yarn, I ordered one of her Disney Princess clubs, and I couldn't resist this one because it was Rapunzel, and she's my Disney princess. I love Rapunzel. I love that movie. I love the soundtrack, and she speaks to me. So this is the Rapunzel set, and it is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 436 yards, and the mini is 87 yards. And the name of the set, which is absolutely perfect, is called I'm So Glad I Left My Tower. And that is a line from the song when she escapes her tower, she's on her adventure, they go into this pub that's called the Cuddly Duckling, and of course she thinks it's gonna be safe and wholesome because she's never left her tower before, and it's full of these thugs that just look dangerous and mean. And then they start singing this hilarious song about how everyone has dreams, and it's just funny because the big guys are talking about how they dream about doing flower arrangements and playing the piano and collecting little tiny ceramic miniatures. And can you tell I've seen this movie a lot? So anyway, one of the lines in that song, she's saying like, you know, every hour, I'm so glad I left my tower. Yeah, I have a dream, I have a dream, I have a dream. I love that. Okay, anyway, I had to order this. Can you tell? It just, yep, had to. So she has done quite a few of the princesses. I'm gonna take another sip of coffee because I can feel that fuzz in my mouth. And my coffee's almost room temperature, so I need to drink it before it gets super cold. I hope that's better. It's like tickling in the back of my throat. So yeah, she's done quite a few of the princesses so far, and they all have been so gorgeous. This is the first one I've ordered. I'm not sure if I'll order more just because I'm trying not to buy too much yarn. We are saving for a house, which is really expensive these days. So I've actually done really good in the last month. This I think I ordered in June, and it came like beginning of July, and then these were like end of June as well, beginning of July. And then the rest of the yarn I have to show you was actually birthday presents, because my birthday was not June 10th, July 10th. July 10th. My mother-in-law surprised me with a couple of sets from Chelsea Luxe Yarn. I was showing you, I think for Easter, she let me pick out, she's been really obsessed with ordering all the Coop collection yarns. And she doesn't really knit socks, but she likes knitting fingering weight into like shawls and cowls. But, you know, she was saying to me, it's a shame that I don't knit socks because these sock sets are so pretty and with the mini skeins. So she let me pick out a sock set for Easter. That was like my little Easter basket present. And then for my birthday, she gave me this one of the Coop collection. I love that mauvey pink and the bright pops of pink in there too. And then this mini is kind of a tannish, like dusty rose. It has a dusty rose undertone, but it's mostly tan. I think that's so, so, so pretty. So this is Princess Laga, I think is what that says. It's written in handwriting, so not sure, but that's my best guess. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 400 yards. And this is like my favorite base to knit with. It's an 80-20, and it's got that like really chunky bouncy ply. It's just easier. I'm showing you the end here because it's easier to see the ply. But yeah, so this is Chelsea Luxe Coop collection. Not sure if she's done with the Coop collection or if she's still going. Like I said, I haven't ever ordered them, but my mother-in-law has quite a few of them. And then she picked this out, she said, intentionally for me. I think the sock set came, you know, she has been reordering them, but this one she got on and ordered me 2 skeins of this DK weight. And this is called Aquanum, I think. It is 100% superwash merino. It's a DK weight, and there's 225 yards per skein. Oh, maybe not. This one has 225 yards. This one has 437 yards? I never looked at that before. I think that that has the wrong label on it. Maybe? They look exactly the same, but this one says Luxe DK. This one says Luxe Zebra. I mean, zebra kind of makes sense because it's got the black and white striped, but this one does too. They look exactly the same, and they're the same colorway. Weird. Oh well, I'll just assume that it's the lesser yardage, and then if I have extra, yeah, they look like the ply and everything, the thickness. So I think 437 seems like a lot for a sport DK weight. Yeah, I think this one has the wrong label on it. Oh well. Anyway, aren't they gorgeous? I love it. And obviously I love teal and brown and blue, so they're perfect. So yeah, those were my birthday presents from my mother-in-law. She also got me, I forgot to grab them, but she got me the Lane books. Is it 52 weeks? I can see them from here. Yep, 52 weeks of shawls and 52 weeks of socks books. And I feel like she got me something else, another book. Oh, she did, it was a memoir. So not knitting related, but still very good. Yeah, so I'm excited to maybe find something to knit with out of that. Maybe with my new yarn. I can knit a shawl. I could knit a pair of socks from the 52 weeks of socks. So that's very exciting. And then on my birthday, we were, the three of us, my husband, Hudson, our son, and I, were driving down to my parents' house in Illinois. Sorry, my brain just sort of like skittered off into another direction. And we stopped in Stoughton, Wisconsin for lunch. And while I was finishing up, Hudson was getting a little fussy, so Seaver, my husband, took him outside, and we had gotten a brownie for my birthday. So I was sitting, finishing up my brownie, and Seaver's like, don't worry, like take your time. I'll just walk Hudson up and down the blocks, the main street. It's like 2 or 3 blocks a couple of times. So I finished up, I cleaned up, I went outside, I didn't see them anywhere. And I go back to the car and I'm like, weird, I thought he was just gonna like be looking in the windows. So I kind of just wait. I had the keys, so I opened up the car, sat down, and then I decided after a couple minutes to call him. And he was like, okay, we're almost done. I'll be right there. And I'm like, what? Like, what are they doing? Turns out the yarn shop, which I've been to that yarn shop before. It's a beautiful little place. It's right on that main street. And they had stopped in there. And Seaver said that he walked in and he said, I have 5 minutes to get my wife a birthday present. I want something unique and local, or somewhat local, something that she can't get everywhere else. So I don't know if it was the owner or if it was just somebody who was working there, she helped him pick out this Feederbrook Farms yarn. This is a DK weight. It's 100% Blueface Luster, which I love Blueface Luster, and it's 260 yards. And it's got some blues and grays and oranges, which is really, really pretty. And actually, he got like a whole set. So I'm not sure if this is just the spinning of the yarn, and I haven't even like looked inside to see if it's, I'm not sure if this is meant to be this way, but he said that you can put them together. They must have told him you can put it together as like a fade. So it's this one that has the mostly grays, and then this one has a little bit more orange and blue, and then this one has a lot of orange. So start with one and go to the more saturated, which I actually like. I think I'm gonna do like a big cozy shawl out of this. So yeah, I got a birthday present and it was totally unexpected. He had, while I was waiting for them, you know, I didn't even think about the fact that the yarn shop was down there, and he walks back up and I see them walking up the block and he's got this paper bag in his hand and I'm like, and then I knew, and yeah, so that was fun. That was really exciting. So those three were also for my birthday. And then obviously I already showed you the road trip collection. That's the other thing I bought myself over the last couple of months. And my Advent, I can't discount that. So I have used up my yarn budget for a while, and I'm hoping not to splurge too much on other things, but I feel like I did really good. The only things I, you know, bought were the sock set and a couple skeins from Flax and Fleece, and yeah, I do have my next homespun house, Little House on the it's Little Town on the Prairie this time. That one is coming in the mail soon, but again, that was ordered like a couple of months ago, so I'm not counting it. Okay, I think that just about does it for me today. So glad I got through everything. Hudson is still sleeping soundly, which is great, and I have a little bit of sample knitting to do for work, so I might try and sneak a little bit of that in before he wakes up. But it is already a little after 3 and he's been sleeping for just about an hour. Yesterday he slept for like 2.5 hours, so not sure what that was all about, but I'd be okay if he repeated that today. So anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful summer or winter if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you never know. I am so glad that you came to join me today. Thank you so much for coming back, even though it has been quite a few weeks since my last episode. Please look for the Ponderosa Pine socks. I'll show that again. Oh. Coming this Saturday, July 24th. To think about that again. And yeah, I hope you all just get a lot of crafting and knitting time in and have a very wonderful summer. I think I've said my piece. Thanks for watching. How do I end these again? Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Please give the video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and even maybe share it on social media. You can find me on Instagram, and feel free to share any posts that you want from there. And otherwise, I'll see you again next time. Be kind to one another and do things that make your heart happy. And I'll be doing the same. Bye.